All right, Marco Benevento.
Yeah, Robbie.
Sitting at his rig. How did you come up with using all these pedals?
Oh, it basically started right here in this world. I was learning Logic and using, you know, all the, you know, just the MIDI piano sound, and this is just like on tour, like in the van, you know.
Right.
Like I would add, you know, some distortion on the piano for like the B section, and then like put, you know, a little delay here and there. So I sent the demos to Matt Chamberlain and Reed Mathis.
Yep.
At the time, it was in 2006 when we were first getting this band off the ground. So they learned all the tunes via the demos, and then we were all going to meet and do a tour.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to be, you know, flying to these places and playing pianos, and I thought, well, how am I going to be getting those sounds that I got on those demos, like the distortion and delay and stuff. I imagined myself flying and doing the gigs, and I thought it'd be really plain, like kind of like almost on the jazzier side, and a lot of this stuff is more on the rock side. You know? So I had this, I think I even have it attached here, this really cheap Dean Markley pickup that's covered in purple tape somewhere.
There it is.
I thought, oh, maybe I'll use this Dean Markley pickup that doesn't really work so well on a guitar, which is what it's meant for.
Right.
On the acoustic guitar, really you need a lot more volume. You need to hit like a little tube pre or something. But if you, I stuck it on the piano at my house, and I ran it into this Sears Silvertone amp.
Nice.
This old amp that I really love, and I turned the tremolo up, and it sounded basically like. There's the tremolo sound there. And then I added distortion. Like, there we go. I built I had a little pedal board that had basically these effects, distortion and delay and tremolo.
Yep.
So I could access those sounds live and have it not be just a piano trio. And have it be a little bit more than have your own house guy, or even if you used the guy that is at the club to do sound, they still have options of, you know, turning up the piano and adding compression or adding some other effects live, so they have more control over the piano live. Because if you were to actually just set up right here real close to the drums and not have a pickup in your piano and just be relying upon mics, it would be a nightmare. You wouldn't really be able to hear yourself. So yeah, the transducers are just like metal plates that you could just stick on the soundboard, so they get a little drums, they get like snare drums, you know, and you can kind of mess with the drum sounds. In the studio, for example, we'll do the same sort of setup, but we'll put this amp in a separate room, and it'll maybe be like an older tube, more of a tube amp or something. So you have your piano mics and whatnot, but you also have your piano amp signal and your clean sort of, you know, really direct sort of piano sound.
I have not seen anybody else playing piano through pedals, so that's kind of your very unique entity out there.
Well, there's obviously other ways to do it, and I've tried them all. Like, you know, I have a CP60 actually, the upright version of the CP70, and I've tried it, and there's something about it that just doesn't feel right, and there's only 2 strings per note.
Yeah.
It sounds a little bit thin. It sounds cool. I really like the uniqueness of it, but it's really nice to be able to play an acoustic instrument and just figure out how to mic it all up and run it through amps. Just use it that way, like a violinist would, or a cellist, or anybody, a vibraphonist even.
And so now you have the Akai keyboard on top.
I basically have, like, this is a Farfisa Fast 3. We recorded this song called The Real Morning Party in like 2006, and I decided to just sort of, since I did all the mixing and editing and whatnot, I actually just chopped up the notes and made my own samples of a Farfisa Fast 3, the same one that's on the record.
Cool.
So I have that for The Real Morning Party. Have this Baldwin organ of me playing an arpeggio for this one song, a big Baldwin organ with a drum machine and stuff that was at Bryce Goggins' studio in Brooklyn. You could just trigger it with a pad. And then this is one of my most favorite. This is a pretty legendary keyboard in the world of vintage keyboards, the Putney, the EMS, the VCS 3. This is the VCS 3 from John McIntyre's studio. So this is me playing. stuff is just samples from keyboards. See, this is an Optigan sample. It's an Optigan sample with Andrew playing brushes. Should we do that song? See, this is a lead sound that I made. This is a soft, oh, is it? Yeah, it's just a soft synth. I use those here and there. And down here, I made a mellotron loop and a banjo loop. Which is the introduction for a song. I like specific delay pedal a lot, because you can really do, which is just an old analog delay that Boss made. They made the DM1, DM2, and the DM3. And this just has a really nice sound about it. And you can actually catch it and really twist it up like this. That sort of bendy, you know, you can't really bend your notes on the piano, so it's nice to be able to have that moment where you can really get freaky and
so it's really taking the acoustic piano to a new level that most people wouldn't dare, because it's almost like a purist thing, you know?
Right. But the good thing is that you get that like you know, timeless quality. You know, there's a guy playing a piano on the stage. It's the look of that. Yep. You know, it's the timeless sort of, you know, quality of sitting around somebody who's playing the piano and having them entertain you, which has been going on for a long time.
So the Tiger Face album is the first album you've had where we have a song on vocals.
Yeah.
Is that kind of an anomaly, or is that something that in the future you might move towards?
Oh, I could definitely see myself getting involved in some singing. The singer that's on the record, her name is Cal from Rebel Bucket. Yeah. And whenever we're around in the same city, she'll come out and sit in with us, which is really great.
It's awesome.
But I have her voice sampled for that song, Limbs of a Pine, and I actually just put on the tiger mask and pretend like I'm singing it. And
nice.
So I have that.